welcome back to the podcast. Today, we're going to learn English through 21 useful sentences. Instead of simply memorizing vocabulary, we're going to look at useful phrases in context. For each sentence, I'll first read the sentence, then we'll look at an important phrase, explain what it means, and finally I'll give you another example. So, don't worry if you don't understand everything immediately. Just listen, repeat, and try to notice how the phrases are used naturally. Okay, let's get started. 1. My father advised me not to use digital devices before bedtime. Let's start with this sentence. My father advised me not to use digital devices before bedtime. The phrase I want you to remember is, advise someone not to do something. Advise means to give someone advice or recommend what they should or shouldn't do. For example, my doctor advised me not to drink coffee late at night. Or, my teacher advised me to practice speaking every day. So in our sentence, my father advised me not to use digital devices before bedtime. It means my father recommended that I shouldn't use phones, tablets, or other electronic devices before going to sleep. 2. I am interested in museums. Here's a simple but very useful sentence. I am interested in museums. The key phrase is be interested in. We use be interested in when we want to talk about something that we like learning about or want to know more about. Remember that after interested in, we can use a noun or a verb ending in ing. For example, I am interested in history. I am interested in learning about different cultures. Another example. My daughter is interested in art. So don't say, I am interested to museums. Say, I am interested in museums. 3. Our school was closed because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now let's look at this sentence. Our school was closed because of the COVID-19 pandemic. The useful phrase here is because of. Because of is followed by a noun or noun phrase. Tells us the reason why something happened. For example, the flight was canceled because of bad weather. We stayed home because of the heavy rain. In our sentence, the COVID-19 pandemic was the reason why the school was closed. Compare because plus a sentence and because of plus a noun or noun phrase. For example, we stayed home because it was raining. But we stayed home because of the rain. 4. The test had a significant influence on people's careers and education. Here's our next sentence. The test had a significant influence on people's careers and education. The phrase is, have a significant influence on. Significant means important or considerable. Influence means the power to affect someone or something. So, have a significant influence on something means to have a strong or important effect on something. For example, teachers have a significant influence on their students. Or, social media has a significant influence on young people. Notice the preposition. Influence on something. So we say, the test had a significant influence on people's careers and education. Not influence to. 5. Homestay is a type of tourism where travelers stay with local families in their homes. Let's move on to a travel-related sentence. Homestay is a type of tourism where travelers stay with local families in their homes. The useful phrase is a type of. A type of simply means a kind or category of something. For example, cycling is a type of exercise. A hostel is a type of accommodation. Homestay is a type of tourism. Another useful phrase is stay with. When you stay with someone, you live or spend some time at their home. For example, when I visited London, I stayed with a friend. So, travelers stay with local families in their homes. This means travelers live with local people instead of staying in a hotel. 6. The cultural experiences offered by homestay tourism can be very meaningful. Now let's talk about cultural experiences. Cultural experiences offered by homestay tourism can be very meaningful. The phrase to notice is cultural experiences. Cultural experience is something that allows you to learn about the traditions, lifestyle, food, customs, or everyday life of another culture. For example, traveling abroad can give you valuable cultural experiences. Another useful phrase is offered by. Something offered by a person or organization is something they provide. For example, the course offers many useful activities. Or, many opportunities are offered by the university. So, cultural experiences offered by homestay tourism can be very meaningful. 7. This trip created nice memories and strengthened our bond as a family. This is a beautiful sentence. This trip created nice memories and strengthened our bond as a family. The key phrase is strengthen our bond. A bond is a strong relationship or connection between people. So, strengthen our bond means to make a relationship stronger. We often use this expression when talking about families and close relationships. For example, eating dinner together can strengthen the bond between family members. Or, traveling together helped us strengthen our bond. In our sentence, this trip created nice memories and strengthened our bond as a family. It means the trip brought the family closer together. 8. Learning a second language is very beneficial for students. Here's another useful sentence. Learning a second language is very beneficial for students. The phrase is be beneficial for. Beneficial means helpful or good for someone or something. For example, regular exercise is beneficial for your health. Reading is beneficial for children. Learning another language is beneficial for students. Notice that beneficial is an adjective. So we say, something is beneficial for someone. 9. They decided to buy a house near the beach. Let's look at a very common structure. They decided to buy a house near the beach. Decide to do something means to make a choice or reach a decision about doing something. For example, I decided to study English. She decided to change her job. We decided to travel by train. In our sentence, they decided to buy a house near the beach. This means they made the choice to buy a house close to the beach. Remember, I decided to go. Not to. I decided going. 10. They are not sure what career path to take. Here's a very useful sentence for students. They are not sure what career path to take. The phrase is career path. A career path is the direction or series of choices someone follows in their working life. For example, she wants to pursue a career path in medicine. He is still thinking about which career path to take. The phrase not sure means uncertain. So, they are not sure what career path to take means they haven't decided what kind of career they want to pursue. This is a very natural expression. 11. We're encouraging everyone to cut down on plastic waste and save energy. Now let's look at this sentence. We're encouraging everyone to cut down on plastic waste and save energy. The important phrasal verb is cut down on. Cut down on something means to reduce the amount of something that you use or consume. For example, I'm trying to cut down on sugar. She wants to cut down on social media. We should cut down on plastic use. In our sentence, we're encouraging people to reduce the amount of plastic waste they produce. Another useful phrase is save energy. For example, turn off the lights when you leave the room to save energy. 12. It's fun to try new recipes and experiment with different ingredients. Here's a sentence about cooking. It's fun to try new recipes and experiment with different ingredients. The key phrase is experiment with. Experiment with something means to try something new to see what happens or what works best. For example, I like experimenting with different cooking methods. She experimented with different colors in her painting. We're experimenting with new ideas. In our sentence, the speaker enjoys trying different ingredients and cooking methods. Notice, experiment with something, not experiment something. 13. You will not improve your English if you don't practice speaking every day. This is an important sentence for English learners. You will not improve your English if you don't practice speaking every day. The phrase is practice speaking. For example, practice listening, practice writing, practice speaking. Another useful structure is if you don't, you will not. For example, if you don't study, you won't improve. If you don't practice, you won't become more confident. So, if you want to improve your English speaking skills, regular practice is important. 14. She didn't listen carefully, so she made a lot of mistakes. Let's look at this sentence. She didn't listen carefully, so she made a lot of mistakes. The useful word here is carefully. Carefully means with attention and caution. For example, please listen carefully. Read the instructions carefully. Drive carefully. We also have the structure so. We use so to show a result. For example, it was raining, so we stayed home. She was tired, so she went to bed early. In our sentence, she didn't listen carefully, and the result was that she made many mistakes. 15. Electronic devices have become a big part of our daily lives. Here's another sentence connected with technology. Electronic devices have become a big part of our daily lives. The phrase is a big part of. It means something is very important or common in someone's life. For example, music is a big part of my life. Technology is a big part of modern education. Social media has become a big part of our daily lives. Notice the tense. Have become. We use the present perfect here because this change started in the past and is still relevant now. So, electronic devices have become a big part of our daily lives. 16. Earth is home to millions of species, from deep oceans to wide grasslands. Now let's talk about nature. Earth is home to millions of species, from deep oceans to wide grasslands. The phrase is be home to. Be home to means to be the natural or usual place where someone or something lives. For example, Amazon rainforest is home to thousands of species. Canada is home to many beautiful national parks. The ocean is home to millions of marine animals. In our sentence, Earth is the place where millions of different species live. Species means groups of living things that are biologically similar. 17. They have had several face-to-face meetings since last week. Let's look at this sentence. They have had several face-to-face meetings since last week. The phrase is face-to-face. Face-to-face means meeting someone physically, in person, rather than communicating online or by phone. For example, we had a face-to-face meeting yesterday. I prefer face-to-face communication. The sentence also uses the present perfect. Have had. And we use since to talk about the starting point of an action or situation. For example, I have lived here since 2020. She has worked there since January. 18. Due to the severe storm approaching, all major roads will be closed. Now let's look at a sentence about bad weather. Due to the severe storm approaching, all major roads will be closed. The phrase is due to. Due to means because of. It is often used in formal English. For example, the flight was delayed due to bad weather. The school was closed due to heavy rain. In our sentence, the reason the roads will be closed is the severe storm. Another useful phrase is major roads. Major roads are important or large roads that connect different places. 19. We are looking for an unforgettable adventure. Here's a sentence for travel. We are looking for an unforgettable adventure. The phrase is look for. Look for means to search for something or try to find something. For example, I'm looking for my keys. We're looking for a good restaurant. They are looking for a new apartment. In our sentence, however, we're not necessarily searching for a physical object. We are looking for an unforgettable adventure. Means we want to find or experience something exciting and memorable. Notice the spelling. Unforgettable. It means something that you will remember for a very long time. 20. English is one of the most important languages in the world today. Here's a sentence that is particularly relevant to English learners. English is one of the most important languages in the world today. For example, Paris is one of the most beautiful cities in the world. English is one of the most widely spoken languages in the world. This is one of the most important skills for students. Notice that after one of the most important, we use a plural noun. Languages. Not to. One of the most important language. So, English is one of the most important languages in the world today. 21. When the burglar broke into the building, the guard was sleeping. And here's our final sentence. When the burglar broke into the building, the guard was sleeping. There are two useful phrases here. First, break into. Break into means to enter a building illegally, usually by force. For example, someone broke into the house last night. The burglar broke into the building. Second, was sleeping. This is the past continuous. We use the past continuous to describe an action that was in progress at a particular moment in the past. So in our sentence, the guard was sleeping describes an action that was already happening when another event occurred. The burglar broke into the building while the guard was sleeping. Here's another example. When I called her, she was watching TV. The phone call happened while watching TV was already in progress. And that's the end of today's lesson. Today, we've learned 21 useful sentences and expressions, including advise someone not to do something, be interested in, because of, have a significant influence on, a type of, stay with, strengthen a bond, be beneficial for, decide to do something, career path, cut down on, experiment with, practice speaking, listen carefully, a big part of, be home to, face to face, due to a, look for, one of the most important, and break into. Don't try to memorize everything at once. Choose 3 or 4 expressions that are useful for you, and try to create your own sentences with them. And remember, learning English isn't only about understanding words. It's about learning how words and phrases work together in real sentences. Listen, repeat, and use them. The more you practice, the more natural your English will become. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.